Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, August fucking 27th. August 27th. What's going on? How are you? As you know, I don't have a lot of guests on my podcast. Every once in a while, I'll have someone that interests me. I'm in a leather chair. I'm not like constantly farting here. I'm just adjusting my weight. I have one of my oldest friends in this business. I've known this man since 1995 when we were a couple of nobodies going around fucking New York trying to get spots. He has his name. Oh, I'll just introduce you. Unbelievable comedian, Mr. Tom Papa, everybody.
Nice to be here, Bill. 95. That's amazing. So I was only doing stand-up for 2 years when we met.
Is that right? You were already really good.
93. I wasn't good. I was loud. I was loud and fast.
Well, I remember Geraldo, rest his soul, used to tell me that the way you used to stand on stage, you were in some sort of like Warrior 1 or Warrior 2 sort of weird lean.
I called it the lunge. Lunge. I would like lean. Yeah, I would kind of like bend my one leg and kind of lunge that way and talk to that part of the audience. Then I would lunge the other way. Talk to.
I bet it got laughs though.
Yeah,
they probably like, he's a character. He's doing a character. We can build a sitcom around this guy. Look, he's a young guy. Like back then, that was the whole thing.
Long, bushy, curly hair. Probably about 25 pounds heavier than I am now.
Oh, you were heavier.
Yep. And
you were partying back then?
It was like my crazy. My wife calls it when she saw a tape of it. She didn't know me back then. She saw me probably 10 years after that. And when she saw, I don't know if you have like a good tape of you when you first started, but there's like, they're all so classic. And she saw it and said it looked like my crazy brother showed up and came to town and started doing comedy.
Your Roger Clinton showed up.
Right, exactly. I did kind of look Roger Clinton-ish. Had that kind of almost a mullet. But not really.
I got one in, I forget where the hell I was. I was doing some local Boston show.
Yeah.
I mean, it was taped. Someone's got to have the tape somewhere. And I was wearing basically the clothes that I wore to the dental office that day. I was still working them. I was definitely wearing the pants.
Right.
So I had like powder from the rubber gloves, and God knows how much germs on me. Because the only way to make the gig was I had to work and then just jump in my car and go. So I brought a chair. I brought a shirt. So I had on navy blue Dockers, and then I had a shirt. It was navy blue stripe and like pea soup green horizontal stripes. I had a big red afro
tucked in
and. Shirt tucked in. No, grunge had already hit at that point.
Nice.
So I started in 92, so it was already like, grunge was already going. So it was like, if you tucked in your shirt, you were part of the 80s.
Oh, God.
So the shirt, I believe, was untucked. Might not have been, now that I think about it. But I just remember I was pointing at the crowd when every like enunciation, I was doing this thing. You remember when Trump did that thing, "You're fired," that little snake thing?
With his hand.
And they made fun of it so much he stopped doing it.
Right.
Which is kind of funny to think about now.
That's interesting, though. You with the pointing as you're telling the jokes. I mean, with the lunging.
Yes.
Because the two guys that I wanted to be kind of badass, like, I didn't want to be like them, but I can look back and think, like, Bill Hicks and Dennis Leary would get in the audience's face and they would kind of, like, jab at them, kind of that way.
Oh, okay.
Were you watching those guys at that time?
I didn't even know who Bill Hicks was until after he died.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, because Bill Hicks was not getting on mainstream stuff. He had done a couple of Lettermans, but back then, if you didn't know to look for him, if you missed his Letterman spot, you just missed it.
I found him by mistake on Caroline's Comedy Hour.
Okay.
They had a Caroline's Comedy Hour when Caroline's was down in another location, I think by the Seaport or something, before our time. Then I saw him, and he would get like right in their face. He would, at the edge of the stage, he'd bend all the way down with his cigarette in someone's face and yell about Britney Spears or whatever.
No, he was gone before Britney Spears. So
I just felt at that time like you have no material, so you're funny, but you have no real skill. You got some stuff, but then it's just pure energy. It's just like...
Well, I think that's... Because I was totally like introverted, but so that was me just sort of... I think that was me. I was miming throwing shit against the wall. I think every joke that I was doing. But then as we came up through the ranks, what amazed me about you was the way that you could like always worked totally clean. And like you, I mean, we came up, Esty would be giving us the late spots. That's how it is. You got to earn the earlier ones.
Yeah.
And I remember you going after Godfrey, Crushing, all of these guys. You go on after My Filth. And you go up there, just totally sport coat on, squeaky clean, and just boom, you just killed.
I did go through some phases especially when I got to the cellar, where I was, going up after a towel, where for a good month I thought I've got to be dirtier. I've got to do something. So I started coming up with filthier stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, just the audience knew. They don't know me at all.
Yeah, that is not this guy.
They knew I was not the guy saying these words. Like, it did not fit.
And you know what's funny is what you're saying right now is all you had to say after Dave.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to continue
That's right.
in that dark world, but look at me, folks. I'm not that guy.
Yeah. You didn't have the courage or like the wherewithal to do that. So my only cure for it was don't watch anybody before I go on. Just completely stay alone and wait for them to come and get me like last minute, like, hey, they're calling your name, and then go down.
Isn't that amazing though? Them. But I think people that are successful will find ways, in situations like that. They'll come up with their own sort of exercise.
Yeah.
To be all right. Well, if I just don't see it, then I don't have to like deal with it.
Yeah,
and
some way to preserve whatever you got to kind of do.
I did something last week when I was on Conan. Right. I did something that I learned at the Comedy Cellar. It was a Comedy Cellar, as small as it is.
Yeah.
It always seems so gigantic to me, right? Because it was like this place you wanted to get into. Esty would be watching your sets. The fucking wait staff would report.
Yeah,
back to management and shit, and you just never felt like it takes a good 8 years before you feel like you're in.
Yeah, totally.
So I remember Patrice had done something on stage. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
he had done something. So they called a meeting. This is fucking hilarious. They called this meeting at the Comedy Cellar. Okay, and the 3 people showed up. Out of all the comics, it was me and Bobby. I was living with Bobby Kelly, and Bobby's like, dude, we got to go to the meeting, dude. She's going to take away our spots, dude. And I'm like, I know, dude. And we both went down there, frickin' frack, the 2 Boston guys. We go down there. It was us 2 and Dave Attell.
Oh, my God.
Patrice, who the whole fucking meeting was about, didn't even show up.
Of course.
And everybody else was kind of in. And just like, I ain't fucking going down there. But anyways, we went in there, and I remember waiting for Esty and Manny to get there, rest his soul. And it was the middle of the day, and I could not believe how small the club was.
Right.
And I was just like, oh my God. I mean, I could literally move all the chairs out of here in 11 minutes by myself.
It is, yeah. Sometimes I'll go down to use the restroom, even now, and you go down there, and it's just empty, and everything's pushed aside so they can mop. And it really is like a closet.
And it's because I don't know what it is about that room.
Yeah.
When it gets full,
it's magic.
And yes, and it just it becomes this
other thing.
This energy thing that you just, and then when everybody's gone, you're in there like going like, this is this place. It's like
Yeah.
So anyway, so I had to go do Conan, and I just so happened I was ready for once before right as the guy got there to pick you up. So I got there like 15 minutes early. There was nobody there. So I was like, I always just walk out there. Why don't I just walk out and take a look at it?
Yeah.
Just so I can really have in my head how big it is.
Oh, nice.
It was still pretty big.
It is. It's not small.
I know. But I mean, but it wasn't like...
But it's your space.
I wanted to be more grounded.
Right.
So I went up, I looked at the drum kit and stuff, sat down, played for like 2 seconds.
Nice.
And then walked around, talked to a couple of people. A few people said hello.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of felt like... And I was just looking
That's
going
so smart.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
Yeah. So
because even when you leave, you've done the show a bunch, but when you walk back out, it feels new again. It's not your home.
Yeah, so I did the new again thing before the cameras were on.
Nice.
And then when I went out there, I felt like I was, the most present. I didn't have that same outer body experience where afterwards I would always look at Andy and be like, was that good? Like basically what happened?
Totally.
Because the whole time you're doing it, you're thinking like, nowadays too, it's like, did I just end my fucking career?
Right. What did I say?
Is this group going to come at me? Are fat people going to say this? Like, all of that shit. So anyway, speaking of careers.
Yes.
You are on this podcast not because you like me.
Well.
Not because you wanted to come over here and smoke a cigar afterwards, which I'm finding out you don't have time.
Oh, I wish
Tom Papa, not only an incredible comedian, you also bake your own bread.
Yes, I do.
Which you've been doing for years, and you were actually nice enough to offer to teach me, and I've just never found time to get over there.
And I brought you bread like a year ago. You remember I brought it?
Oh, dude, like 2 times. I vaguely remember because it's gone that quick. He brings it over in a little basket with this old lady little towel over the top of it, and you're like you don't even need butter. You made us what did you make us? I always get
a sourdough.
Sourdough.
Right? Yeah.
Oh.
Good stuff. I got good
at it.
So
me and Nia basically ate the whole loaf talking about what we were going to eat it with that night. And we just, not the whole thing, we were like, we got to finish this. So now all of a sudden,
yeah,
your professional and your hobby life have now blurred here, and you have a new cooking show coming out today, I guess, right? Monday?
A week from Labor Day.
Oh, Labor Day, sorry.
A week from today.
What's the exact date?
September 3rd.
September
Labor Day,
3rd.
Monday. 10 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock East.
Called Baked.
It's called Baked.
And no, you're not putting any weed in the bread, man.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's not really a cooking show as much as a food show. Like, I'm not going to... Well, I guess I am cooking. Basically, what I did...
Well, it's not going to be 8 episodes of watching you cook bread.
No.
Okay.
Exactly. That's kind of what I thought it was going to be. And they're like, this is going to be over in an episode.
Yeah. Do you have 100 different kinds of loaves of bread
right.
that you can make so we can get it to syndication?
So what I was doing, I started baking it. I started getting really good at it. And when I would travel around on the road doing stand-up, during the day I would visit bakeries. I would go check them out, and I was just trying to learn, like see what flour they were using, talk to them, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you got into it.
I got into it. And they caught wind of it and thought it would be a cool show because I'm already doing it. I'm going to these places, and I'm going to learn. I'm super curious about it. And they didn't have any show that just dealt with baked goods.
Can you back up for a second? Sure. How did they catch wind of it? Do you have that Alexis in your fucking house or something? How do they catch wind that you're a comic killing a day and you're going to bakeries?
Because I started talking about it on social media. I talked about it on Rogan's podcast. I talked about it on Conan. And then the New York Times did an article on people with sourdough starters. You know, the sourdough starter is the living culture. The mother.
I hate that. I hate that. I saw the thing. There's like a thing in France. Some of them they're like a couple 100 years old.
Yeah,
you just keep feeding it some sort of bacteria.
You just keep feeding it flour and water, and it eats it. And stays alive. Yeah, it's the active yeast in there. And so you got to feed it flour and water, and it eats it. And
so it's like they've had a goldfish that they've been feeding for like since like the early 1800s.
Yeah, and it's a little vague. Like when people say it's 100 years old, I mean, because
like nobody ever spilt it.
It has its origin. Like it has it. You will have it will connect to however long you've been feeding it, but you're dumping a lot of it and then new flour and water's going in. But it's a cool story.
Yeah. Okay.
You know? And
now I feel like a novice.
And people do care about it. People do like hang on to them, pass them down to other people in their family. And it is a thing. Like I have 2 of them and they're in my refrigerator. And I've been on the road now for a week. I just got home today. And I know when I leave you, I'm going to go home and feed them because it's been a week. If you don't feed it, it slowly starts to become less active. It has no food to eat. And then it starts creating its own alcohol. And that's it. When you come back, it'll be like a layer of alcohol on top of it.
Now
called hooch.
You're like a microbrewer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's literally called hooch?
Literally
Is that why how
it's a pure alcohol.
Booze got called hooch?
Yeah, it's a fermentation.
This is already the most informative podcast I've ever done. That's fucking awesome.
So the New York Times did an article on people with their sourdough starters, and just, I'd been doing it for like a year, and they came into my house and took pictures of me with my starter, and I was in the food section. I'm not doing anything show busy with this. I'm just baking bread with my daughter.
Isn't that always how it comes about when you're not trying?
Not at all. And my friends back east opened the New York Times, and they're calling me that day like, what are you doing? Why are you in the food section? So it just became a thing. And then people started sending me things on Twitter and Facebook and whatever, showing me that their attempts at baking, like...
And that's a massive subculture.
Yeah.
It's not even just people who bake, like specifically bake bread.
Yeah.
People who are into bourbons. Like there's all these subculture things that when you all of a sudden get into it.
Totally.
Yeah, you're like, open the door a little bit. All of a sudden you see there's like, a million people in there like, hey, I like this shit too.
Yeah, you're like, wow, look at all these Instagram accounts of people doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it just kind of took off and was super fun. And I also, at the same time that I started baking it, I also started getting on this kick of, why are we the first generation? Bread has been around for thousands of years. Mm-hmm. Why are we the generation that's being told we shouldn't eat bread? Why all of a sudden are we now like, no, you're the new human beings that can't eat bread? And I was like, there's something wrong here. And then when we started baking this bread, it's just flour, water, salt, and yeast. That's all that's in it. And when the bread I would buy my daughters in the supermarket, trying to get them good bread, had 30 ingredients in it.
Right.
Chemicals, sugars, glucose, all this other crap.
ISIS.
It
was all in there.
Yeah. Putin. Russian poison. It was all
dash
in there.
of Putin in there.
And I started giving that bread to my friends that have problems with eating bread, and they had no problems. We were eating a lot of bread, and we weren't getting fat. And I was like, this is the pure thing. This is what bread really is. So then I started going off on this kick in my act, and it started, permeating other parts of it. It was in my book where I was just like, we should be allowed to celebrate in life. We should be allowed.
Can I pitch an episode?
Yes.
An episode, because you got 8 already in the can. Okay, your next season, Tom teaches Bill how to bake bread. Or even just
great.
Even just for the website.
That would be awesome. I would love to.
Because I am on this new diet that I've been doing for like the last 3 weeks, and I've been, keeping the muscle and dropping all the fat, and I love how I look and everything, but it's just like, come on, I got to have a piece of bread every once in a while.
Every once in a while. And you eat this bread, you'll be okay.
Oh, dude, the shit that I used to, you're part of my generation. It was Wonder Bread. I used to eat steakums on Wonder Bread, and the grease would be going through the bread.
You'd have to eat it quick before it went through.
Oh, yeah, having to get like a fork or something. And I stand by, dude. I had that today. I would have to take a nap immediately, but it would be effing delicious in a child's sense memory thing.
Oh my
God.
Your
stuff.
Yeah.
I ate your bread. I was like, I got to call my parents. I mean, it was like a wholesome holidays, everything that when all the BS slows down in life.
Right. Exactly.
You just got past something, or maybe it's the holidays, you got a few days off. You just have time. You actually have free time to hang with the people in your life. And you're like, oh, this is what it could be.
Right, exactly.
This is what it could be.
And it's not every day. I mean, these are special moments in your life. Basically the way the show goes is I just
pictured you talking to your family like, don't get used to this. This isn't every day. It's a special thing.
There's bread in the house all the time now. Like when I go on the road, if I'm gone for a while, for the first time, they call me. They're like, when are you coming back? And it's not because they want to see me.
Do you realize your kids, they're going to talk about you like some grandmother from the early 1900s going, there was always the smell of bread in our house.
That's right. I know.
I'll always remember her. I remember her when she passed, the casket smelled like yeast. Yeast is disgusting. Yeah. Sorry, I should have said bread. I just took a whole nother angle on there. So what's your favorite... So
basically, I go around to all these different cities. I come into a city, and I visit 5 of the best baked goods I can find. A bakery, a sandwich place with amazing rolls, a pizza place, whatever it is.
Oh,
who's ever dealing with dough and that kind of thing. And you quickly realize, this is back to it being special, you quickly realize there's no need for a bakery in a town. You know what I mean? Like you need the cops, you need the fire department, you need the power, you need the water, you need all this stuff. A bakery is a special little place that just happens to be in the town that when you want to treat yourself or get something nice for your family, that's when you go to the bakery. It's this nice little celebration in your everyday life. You don't go there every day, most of the time. So all these people are creating this really special stuff, and you go in there and you feel good, and that you should be celebrating your life. Like, this is it. Like, we're not going to, this is prime time.
Right.
This is when we're really going to enjoy ourselves. You take your daughter and walk into a bakery and give her a cookie. That is a special moment. That's a special thing.
When she turned a year and a half last month, I went to a bakery and I bought her a cupcake and put 1.5 candles in it and sang "Happy 1.5 years old." Yeah.
Oh my God!
She's just looking at me like, "When can I eat this?"
Yeah, right.
Nice song, Dad. I don't know what's going on here. When can I have that?
Yeah, this is special for you. But I really feel like it's a celebration. Life should be a celebration. You don't eat this stuff all the time. You don't want to, you want to be in shape. You don't want to get diabetes, but you should enjoy it.
All right, we'll do an episode. I'll teach you how to make a pie crust. You teach me how to bake some bread.
That would be great. We should do it. No,
that's so, I got to be honest with you. Like, I just the whole idea of having a comedian who bakes,
it's weird, right?
No. I'm just saying, like, what a home run for a show.
Oh, right.
And then you're going to go check out all these cool bakeries. Like, I don't know, like, they've had diners, drive-ins, and dives. It just seems like everybody's always eating, like, the burgers, the tacos, the burritos, the pizza.
Yeah.
They've had all of those shows, but I haven't seen a guy
bake goods
do the bakeries.
No.
And like, for years, I've been, sort of like gay bashed in a way that I actually know how to bake and make pies and stuff. And I'm like, wow, it's awesome. And women love you.
I remember.
Do you know how to bake? Like, they love you.
Oh, completely. There was a whole article about women that get turned on by these guys that bake bread. Remember you?
Absolutely. It's like having a saint,
right?
For me, because I'm such an asshole. It takes down a lot of my shit that I do. You know what I mean?
He cuts the edge off.
Yeah,
like,
I make a scene at the supermarket.
He yells, he's cutting people off, but he bakes a hell of a pie.
Yeah. Even your voice changed. He bakes a hell of a pie. Take some of the edge off.
You brought a pie. Was it last Christmas? Was it around the holidays?
I can't remember.
You brought me a pie, and the center wasn't cooked. And you were so bummed out.
I'm going to tell you what, because we were renting a house because we were getting my shithole one fixed up.
Yep.
And what happened was the door was slightly ajar.
It didn't close all the way.
It let the heat out. No, I still remember.
You sent me a picture of it.
I made you, because I felt so bad. I made you pumpkin bread for Halloween.
Oh, that's right.
And it's the easiest fucking thing. Yeah. It's just a concoction. You pour it in the thing, you throw it in the oven, and you're done.
And you leave it.
Yeah, and it wasn't done, so I had to tell you to put it back in, and you were able to fix it though. But I was so embarrassed, and then the fact that you're like this, you're such a good baker. You're in the food section of the Times.
Yeah.
I get a couple of hits on Facebook when I make a pie. But
you know what? That I remember distinctly. Like, we just ate around the raw part, and it was delicious. Like, that's the cool thing. Like, you don't realize you mess this stuff up. I'll still screw up breads because it's a 3-day process, and if you mess up along the way, you're gonna get a flat Frisbee. But I'm telling you. The flat Frisbee is delicious.
Oh, it still is. Yeah, just because it doesn't look good.
Just put some butter on it. You just, my God. So good.
What have you been up to as far as you've been traveling the road promoting the show? You've been doing some dates. What have you been up to?
I had it's not really slowed down. I had 5 jobs from April until just recently where I was doing my stand-up, of course. And then I had a book come out, so I had to tour around with the book. I took over the writing for Live From Here, which was Prairie Home Companion. Mm-hmm. Garrison retired, and Chris Thiele took over as the host. And I took over the comedy of it and the writing of it. And I also do a monologue each week on it. And then I had my podcast, my Come to Papa podcast and radio show for Sirius. And then Baked. And then when the Bread Show came, as happens in production, they are like, yeah, we might make it. And then like, we want 8 in a month. So on top of touring with the radio show and with my stand-up and the book tour, the bread show got thrown on top of it. So
the bread show, you probably think, this ain't going to go. It's a fun little thing that I'll do.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll do a pilot.
Throw me a couple of bucks.
This is cool. We'll do a pilot. Who knows? The beautiful part of this is I had no showbiz anxiety about this. I still don't. Mm-hmm. I still don't. Everything else, you make stuff, you sell it, you try and get it on the air, you push.
Yeah, but I also think if you tour
worry.
as a comic and you have your own podcast, you're making enough money that I don't have any showbiz stress where I love doing my TV show. I absolutely love doing it, but I'm not in the unemployment line.
Right, if it doesn't go.
Yeah, if it doesn't go, which I hope it goes, by the way, if anybody's listening.
Yeah.
Industry drone out there. He's not appreciating his show.
Yeah, but this show, I'm like, look, we can do a show about it. That'd be great. I'd love to share it with more people. That's awesome. If you don't make a show about it, I'm still going to go to the bakery in Cleveland when I get there. You know what I mean?
So how much time did you have to carve out of your schedule to keep doing it?
I just threw it on top of everything else. So while I was doing the book tour, while I was doing the stand-up, I was doing all this other stuff, I was doing episodes of this show that are going to start airing. And I literally have not been in my home for a full week since April.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was like a tsunami. A perfect storm. It all just hit at the same time.
Now, how do you handle that?
I just go, and having a family is, I want to be with them.
Right.
I literally, Bill, my kids are 16 and 13 now, and I was like, before all of this stuff hit the fan, I literally said to myself, I'm going to be smarter about how I tour. There's only a couple more years here before everybody starts taking off on their own. I'm going to be around a little bit more.
Yeah.
And boom, as soon as I said it, I was gone.
No.
And so
that's the industry. Look, any of you young people in the industry, just say out loud, you know what? I'm going to move back east. Just say that. Now, the showbiz universe will let you move back east.
Yeah, they'll let you
it'll get you something after you've given up your apartment and all that. Dude, that just happened to Dean Del Rey.
Oh, yeah?
Dean Del Rey's like, I'm getting all these, he's bi-coastal now.
Right.
So then he went to New York, like, I'm going to be out there for a while doing spots, a minute to Cellar, blah, blah, blah. Dude, he gets, I'm telling you, he was there for like 2 weeks. He got Conan.
No.
He just got Conan. He's going to come back.
It's hilarious.
He's on Conan tonight with Mark Maron.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to try to go over there for the taping. Yeah.
That'll be fun. He's such a good guy. And Dean, I haven't watched him that much, but over the last, several years, some guys just turn the corner. They just know exactly what they're starting to do. Like, he got so tuned into his voice.
Yeah, he's Dean just on stage and off stage.
Yeah, he's a killer now.
No, he opens for me. He gets sustained rounds of applause when he's done. Dude, I had to go on after him and Todd Rex. You ever go on after Todd Rex?
No.
Fucking monster.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and both, Todd has this thing where people love him.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of these, he's like a big kid. Kids love him. Adults love him.
Right.
And he's like a legit headliner.
Wow. And you put both those guys on before you?
Yeah, I did. But what's good is, though, but then people come out, and they get to see, a full show.
Yeah, that's
rather
great.
than some, some cupcake you put on in front of you that's up there. Hey, weather's been crazy. You ever notice with raindrops? Some are bigger than others.
I did a show last night or the other night in Michigan, northern Michigan, and it was this performing arts center, this nice theater, beautiful place up in I've never been that far
decent
north.
Bakery,
nice bakery. No opener. No, I just walked out and just did it. It was kind of lonely, hanging out during the day and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I have to say, it was you have to do more time. You're doing more like an hour and a half. But I really liked it. You ever do that?
Yeah. Well, I do 90 minutes anyway.
On top of those guys?
Yeah, but if I have one guy, he does 15. If I have two guys, they both do 10.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying
But you ever just walk out? You ever just go with nobody?
Yes. Have I done nobody on the road? I've only a few times.
Yeah.
It becomes a different thing.
It is a different thing.
I think it would be weird at a club
Yes.
Just because with the club, there's so much commotion going on.
Yeah.
And there's so many drinks you got to get out, so much food to get out, and all that pomp and circumstance has to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And then when the headliner comes on, it's like, now we have your undivided attention until we drop all the checks.
Yeah.
So there's always commotion going on with the clubs. But like at a theater, I think...
it becomes an evening with rather than a show.
Like I saw... who did I see? I saw Billy Connelly. I saw him in New York about 10 years ago. And if I remember, because he did like 2 hours.
Yeah.
He did 2 fucking hours. It was unbelievable. And like at that point, that's when guys were kind of like, if you did like an hour, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember when headlining was 45 minutes?
Yeah, everybody did 45.
45.
That's, insane.
It's a fucking joke.
Insane.
I feel like now if I don't do like an hour and 20, I'm ripping them off.
I know.
And
I know. Yeah, it's a weird thing. You know what's weird about it, too, is that it's kind of like when you do push-ups. Like if you say you're going to do 20 push-ups, 18, 19, 20 are really hard. Yeah. If you tell yourself you're doing 25, all of a sudden 23, 24, 25 are hard. Like
I don't know about that.
It's true.
If 18 and 19 are hard, 25 is going to seem like a fucking zillion miles away. But I know what you mean. If you're shooting.
Yeah, it adjusts your head. Your head does something. You say, I'm going to go do an hour and a half tonight. Yeah. That's just the way it is. And if you say you're doing an hour, all of a sudden you're panting to get to an hour.
All right. Hey, you want to answer some questions here? You want to help me out? I give people advice on this podcast.
Yeah, of course.
You know, if any of this is going to ruin your bread show, baked, just let me know.
I'll give you a
So
signal.
Last week, somebody mentioned that, my dumbass, I went on I was like, let's see what's going on in the world.
Oh, no.
And I don't even know if I want to drag you into this, but Trump said they're killing white farmers in South Africa, which has been happening for what? And I never condoned it. I didn't say it wasn't a big deal. I was talking about what he pays attention to. Which, I don't think if they were Puerto Rican farmers, he would give a fuck. And call me a reverse racist, but I am basing that on the fact that when there was regular people and then neo-Nazis involved, he was sitting there going like, well, you can kind of see both sides of the story.
Yeah.
So anyways, so this guy wrote in from Cape Town. So we got a bunch of people from Europe.
Right.
Saying, blah, 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 blah. They're just like me. They're not there.
Right.
So we didn't listen to them. All right. So this guy's from Cape Town.
Right there.
How's it going, Billy? I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. I'm a big fan. I listen to your podcast every week. Yada, yada, yada. Care for a visit? Yeah, I'd love to go there. I'd go there. I have 2 topics I want to put out there. First, my country got some airtime in the news last week due to a tweet by the Donald guy. Now, just a recap. Now, I don't know what this guy's tone is, but I've read some of the other ones. They're all like, why don't you fucking read about it before you open your mouth? All right. Now, just a recap. He basically mentioned investigating farm murders and land expropriation without payment in South Africa based on race. Why are we getting involved in this?
Yeah, I know.
Why are we getting involved? Anyways, I bet one of the farmers was going to sell him land to build a golf course. We have to stop it. All right, news outlets like BBC, CNN, etc. were quick to point out that these claims were baseless, and that if you look at the crime stats, you would actually see a decline in the farm-based attacks. Now, I don't watch.
He got into it because Tucker Carlson did a thing on it.
Oh. You know what? I should, because I don't watch the news.
Yeah.
Because all it does is give me anxiety. It's a half hour of anxiety with no solution.
Yeah.
No, and all this shit that I wasn't worried about, I now have to add to the shit I already was worried about. So why would I do that to myself?
Yeah, and you're powerless to do anything.
All right. Just to set the record straight, I can tell you that if you search deeper and speak to the average South African, they would tell you a different story. Being a farmer or a farm worker is by far the most dangerous job you can have around here due to the number of attacks and the cold-blooded, barbaric nature of these attacks. There is no doubt that the number of attacks has grown in number and in brutality in recent years, yet these attacks are not widely reported, and the accuracy of the statistics on the farmers have been a point of dispute ever since the end of apartheid. Anyone you talk to, the whole fucking thing is there was brutal attacks to get the land, and then a brutal form of government, and now there's a brutal reaction to it, is my limited understanding to it. And I'm not saying any of that was right. I was just saying it's interesting what the orange-headed lunatic decides to pay attention to.
Right, exactly.
Is all I'm saying.
I mean, this is a...
And I've even said the last election was 2 a.m. at a bar. Right. You had to go home with somebody.
Right.
You didn't want to leave with either one, but you had to leave with somebody. So I'm not picking a side politically or any of that shit. Anyways, anyone you talk to can tell you of multiple of their close friends or relatives who have been attacked, have been affected by an attack, regardless of race. Yet this is not helped by the fact that many political rallies are met with chants of kill the Bora, the farmer, kill the farmer. These political parties are basically garnering support on the false promise of land and wealth to everyone. Yay, communism. What do you mean, yay, communism? That happened in our country. Yeah, we got to rebel against these English guys. And then all the rich fucks, once we kicked them out, moved into the rich guys' houses.
Right.
And continued to tax us. I love when they blame forms of government.
Yeah.
Is there a form of government that works? I don't think there is because you get, at the end, you have human beings with unchecked power on some level at the top. And it just...
That's right.
That's what we are.
Some people taste the good life and they don't want to give it back.
No.
That's what's going on in Nicaragua right now.
What's going on?
Talking about someone else's problems. It's basically the students are rioting and trying to take the government back. And the guy who they're trying to take the government back took the government for the people when he was a student. But then he got fat and happy, and now he's like the dictator who doesn't want to let it go.
Yep.
Whenever you taste the good life, nobody wants to let it go.
No, you get the extra food, you get the best booze, the best women,
oh my God,
and all of that. And it's
just a big, nice silk robe.
Yeah.
People are cooking your meals.
Yeah, you're sitting in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Are you going to get out of that thing?
No.
To go help somebody less fortunate than you?
No.
That's not how people are wired.
No, they put up gates around their home.
Yep.
And they say, "I'm going to keep this." This is.
Yeah, I'll read more about this stuff. I'll definitely look up on it.
But why? But back to your thing about the orange guy pointing this out and bringing us into like. I understand that's a big problem when you read about it. It's like, oh boy, this is a mess. Don't we have our own messes? Like, aren't our like? Why do I have to jump into this one? I mean, there's stuff like that.
No, human being to human being, you're supposed to care.
You do care, but I can't. How much time? You could care about everything. We get the Nicaragua thing is a huge thing. I mean,
I don't even know what's going on there. All I know is this country is fucking bankrupt, and because we're fighting a war that has no set ending, and you're not allowed to ask about it. And I don't want to bring this shit up while you got a fucking show coming out. It's just one of those things where it's just like, I don't understand why if I ask, like, hey, how are we going to pay for this? Hey, when are we coming back? All of a sudden, I don't support the troops. I'm not American.
Right.
And I just became like, I just got I'm part of ISIS now.
Right. Yeah.
I can do that with
just talking about it.
I love the Patriots. I can sit there and be like, what the fuck are we doing? Why did we draft that guy? People just don't go like, you're not a Patriots fan. You like the Jets. You're a piece of shit. So it's a very weird.
Yeah. It's a weird time that you can't.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of people afraid to say stuff that everybody kind of agrees with.
Yeah. But don't you think also that there's a lot of real, like, reasonable people that are thinking the same thing you are on whatever issue, thinking the same thing, and when you do bring it up, they agree and quietly go about their day like normal people.
Yeah, they come up after the show, after they didn't laugh, and say, yeah, you're 100% right on the blah, blah, I totally agree with this, or I had a dad just like that, or whatever the fuck that you were talking about that made the crowd go quiet. You know what it really is? I can't believe how many people are afraid to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like basically get yelled at on Twitter.
Right.
By who?
By who?
Yeah.
Just the loudest one.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, that's what I'm saying. There's so many more people that aren't tweeting hateful stuff at you.
I think most of it has to do with a corporation. God forbid if one extra nickel that they could have made rolled out the fucking door. That's the only time they do the customer is always right is with that shit.
Right.
Everything else, you can go fuck yourself. You can go to the website and stare at the screen and try and figure it out yourself, and maybe you'll get a portion of a refund or something. I don't want to get all gloom and doom here with this stuff. So let's talk sports, man. I was really watching the Red Sox, and then I just, dude, I have to tell you, like, this is the regular season, man.
I know, but it has been such I'm a Yankee fan.
Right.
And it has been
by the way, congratulations. It must have been a fun ride your whole life.
It wasn't. When I was a kid, well, I had a little Greg Nettles, Reggie Jackson when I was really little.
And then I had to go the whole 80s without a World Series.
It was horrible.
Do you realize if you guys don't win it this year or next year, that is the only second time you haven't won a World Series during a decade?
Yeah.
The level of success that is fucking ridiculous. Not to mention, I think 2 decades, you won at least half of them in the 40s and 50s.
Well, yeah, but I mean, who knows what was going on back then? There was Bobby Sox and Frank Sinatra. During my time,
right,
we went through horrible periods when they were like trying to buy people, and we never, and it was always messed up. But the Jeter years, homegrown kids, great run.
That's because your guy got kicked out of baseball, and he would have got rid of half of them. I don't think Jeter, and I don't think he would have known what Mariano Rivera was going to be, because nobody did, because you guys had him pitching like middle relief.
O'Neill would have been gone. Bernie Williams would have been gone.
Well, O'Neill you got from the Reds.
They would not have hung on to these people. But it was homegrown. It was pure. I have a guilt as a Yankee fan when you buy and you've got Johnny Damon all of a sudden standing in the outfield. I don't like that money part of it.
Oh, we went right over the cliff with you.
Yeah, no,
we're like, all right, well, they're in our division. This is how you play it. Totally. And now you guys are doing it the right way.
We're doing it the right way, and it's been a great season. I love baseball. It's my favorite sport, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. We're young guys scraping, enjoying it. The second best record in all of baseball, and we can't get close to the Red Sox.
Yeah, but
what have you been doing up there?
This is what's great, though. What is so great is the greed of baseball, where now they have to have 9 million rounds. Like back in the day, if we swept you in August, that would have been a big thing. But back in the day, I also would have been as a Red Sox fan, like, okay, how are they going to fuck it up this time? Because they always did. But that would have meant something.
Yes,
that didn't really mean anything because
you mean now it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, because you guys are going to get the wild card.
We'll get 1 game playoff against Oakland or something, and we'll lose and be out in 1 game. It's so frustrating.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know about the one. What's the 1 game thing?
Well, you have the one game playoff.
Oh, so they added that, and then there's the 3 game, and then the 4s, and then the 4.
Right. What are you guys doing up there? Why you never lose? You never lose. How many wins do they have?
Last I checked, they were like 91 and 41, or
we just
90
and
41. So, but no, we're tonight. I didn't. Well, I'm taping this Sunday night just so I don't confuse.
Are you guys as good? Are you guys as good as this record shows?
No, nobody ever is. Your regular season record is never as good as you are, because you're rolling up all these stats on people who aren't going to be there in October. So what you have to do is you got to look at, like we just played the Indians, who I think Terry Francona is still the best manager in baseball. Everybody's sleeping on them. Nobody gets more out of their players than this fucking guy. And we played a 4-game series. We split it. The first 2 games, he made us look like a 500 ball club. And then our big free agent guys, Sale and Price came in and shut them down.
Right.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. You fucking, like, Houston, they got Verlander, they got all those guys. They're the defending World Series champion.
So good.
Nobody's talking about them.
They're so good.
Exactly. And they probably had a couple of injuries and whatever, but blah, 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 blah. All I know is come October, we're all 0-0.
I think they're my pick to take it again.
And what ESPN does about regular seasons is what the news does about, like, ISIS, where in my head, ISIS was powerful enough to come over here, attack this country, and overthrow it.
Right.
Until I actually sat down. I was like, they don't have a plane or a boat or uniforms.
Right.
This is not Germany and Japan again. Okay? So, fucking, they do the same thing. Well, they basically said the race was over when we swept you guys 4 games in a fucking row. Knowing, dude, we have like 12 games left.
Yeah.
Injuries happen.
I'm going to try and get to the one on the 18th or 19th.
Yeah. So I have done this too many times as a sports fan to try to put my feet up in August.
I know.
And say anything's over. I watched us blow a 12-game lead, like, I don't know how many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
I watched us blow that classic 18-game lead in 78.
Yeah.
I've seen the tuck rule. I've seen the fucking. I've seen it all.
Even
dude.
as fat and
roughing
happy
the passer.
There's still that's insecure. I've been beaten by my.
I've seen balls roll through guys' legs.
It's so great. I was at dinner with my brother-in-law and his wife the other night, and Red Sox fans, and they were literally, when we were talking, they were still 9.5 up. But it was the Cleveland, and they lost the first game to Cleveland, and the Yankees won that night. And we got a half game up, and I was like, here it comes. Here comes the slide. This is the beginning of the end. And I was just talking out of my ass because they're so solid. But the fear in my brother-in-law's eyes, like, oh, man, it really is. This is the beginning of the end.
Because he's gone through it.
Yeah.
Like, Pastor, you get millennials, they'd be like, fuck you, we got this. Yankee stuck. They don't know.
No, they don't.
Oh, no. Dude,
I went to Fenway for the first time this year in the beginning of the season. Horrible rainy night. But that was my first time there. I've watched so many games at Fenway on TV. It was so surreal. I felt like I had been there before.
Oh, yeah.
When you're sitting in the thing. Like when you're walking through and trying to get food and stuff.
When I go back now, it's not the ballpark I went to as a kid. I mean, they got like a mall in the right field. They got people sitting up in the Green Monster.
Right.
It is so different from when I left the Green Monster. It didn't have any advertising, anything.
Oh, really?
I think it looks way better with the advertising. And in Ted Williams days or pre-Ted Williams, Dom DiMaggio days or something, I believe they had advertising there. So it's gone through like a bunch of stuff. But, dude, I was just thinking all the shit that I've seen. I've seen the Celtics in a Game 7 with the Lakers. Seen the refs call 30-something fouls on them and like 15 on the Lakers in a Game 7. I literally watched the Lakers beat us from the foul line. And we were out there hacking people. It was so fucking anticlimactic.
So brutal. Yeah.
I've seen too many men on the ice. I've too many. Like, I don't give a fuck how many games were up until.
But then you also had air taken out of your ball, and you had the little snow plow to give a thing for the guy taking the field goal.
Every team has had those things. All of that shit. Yeah, that too. I have to tell you, that Deflategate is up there with any, like, as far as like the Music Man. You could redo the Music Man with Deflategate. If like the study literally found that like the Colts also had like 3 balls that were slightly underinflated. ESPN did a study,
of course,
that showed that the ball actually got there a little bit later, so it'd be an advantage to the defense. So of course they pulled that immediately, and a bunch of Pats fans had recorded it, going like, "This is what they don't want you to know, right?"
So why? What? Looking back now,
I feel like
what was it?
They did something. They fucking, because we were in with Goodell, and then something happened, and then we were just fucking out. I think part of it was it? I think part of it was when they under-suspended Ray Rice. And they were just like, a couple of games. And then they tried to say that they didn't see it. Then you found out they saw it. And then Goodell, he's making like $36 million a year. Then I think he just started over-suspending everybody.
And do you think it's like if we go after the golden boy, that'll kind of take the heat off of the whole league?
No, what ended up happening, I think the combination was that, and then we had some sort of falling out with the guy, and then we took him to court. And in a court of law, I mean, it got laughed out of court. The judge actually yelled at the NFL for wasting their time.
Really?
So a lot of people forget that. So then he played the next year, not suspended. So then now you can't have double jeopardy. You can't get tried for the same thing. So the NFL went back and changed their argument and said, is the NFL a corporation? And they said yes. And they says, does a corporation have a right to suspend an employee if they feel fit? And they said yes. And they said, well, Tom Brady is an employee of our corporation, and he is suspended. And they couldn't mess with that. So that's what we got. So he sat down for 4 games, because if Tom Brady and the Patriots took the NFL to court and won and reversed it, that was going to open the floodgates every time, helmet to helmet hit and suspension and all this could potentially, our corporation thinks like, oh my God, the amount of money in legal costs, we'll have the nuts running the nut house. They had to fucking suspend them.
Right.
So that is my totally biased Patriots.
Yeah.
As far as like, are we taking air out of the ball? Are we trying to steal signs? Yes, as is everybody else. Which is why when you watch a college football game, my favorite thing ever, when you watch them when they send in signals, there's like 4 guys doing it.
Right.
Somebody's holding up a picture of Urkel. Another guy's, fucking pop locking.
Yeah.
And I also love too, like that whole idea that if you film somebody, you know what they're doing. Like they're miming throwing the ball or handing it off or punting it. You still have to figure it out. And as much as we were guilty with the of the Spygate thing. I mean, if you're going to sit there and say, "Oh yeah," first of all,
everyone else is pure.
Well, the thing about that is that was the first game that was illegal to do that.
What do you mean?
That was that was legal.
You were allowed to.
Jimmy Johnson even said, he goes, "I came in the league." They say, "Okay, what do I do?" He goes, "Get a camera, point it at their guy, look at it at halftime. Whatever you can steal."
Oh, really?
So I think it just looked bad after a while.
Right.
So the rule was, dude, just that you couldn't have a guy on the field. You could still have a guy up in the booth. There's something called a zoom lens.
Right.
They're still doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody is still fucking doing it. So
it's funny.
Yeah. So if you're going to, but anyway, you're going to say stealing signs.
Yeah. Do you have a college?
Then we should have to forfeit World War II.
Do you have a college team that you like? Or you like all college?
Yes, I have a bunch that I like, but LSU is my adopted one.
That's your adopted.
I just loved the SEC. This was 10 years ago, about 2008. I was after Nick Saban was there.
Right.
And I was into Les Miles, and he would just do that shit. It was almost like his offensive mind was where the people in the upper deck was, where they're like, "Go for it!" And he would fake punt, and he would just do it.
Yeah,
and it worked for a little while. The LSU, their big thing is and since I've been watching them, they haven't had a quarterback that they've believed in enough to let him play the full game, and they are literally playing a lot of times this stereotypical, like old school stereotypical white quarterback. Black quarterback thing where it's like, it's a passing down. Get the white guy in there.
Right.
It's a running. We could maybe run the option here. Get the black guy in there. And it's just really? Like, dude.
That's hilarious.
Yes. Pick one.
And just go for it.
And let them get into the feel of the game. It'd be like, hey, Tom, that's why you never liked hosting.
Yeah.
Because it's like you get them going, and then you got to bring somebody up. That's such an art. And then you sit down, you fucking, thinking about your day the next day, and it's like, oh, fuck, I got to run back up and do another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
My favorite thing in hosting was we're gonna keep the show moving right along and bring the next guy up. That was my favorite thing with right. Hosting.
I'm not going to do any time in between. All right, we're going to keep this. Someone just murders. Or we're just going to keep the show going.
Yeah,
I really like how the Comedy Store doesn't have a host. I really like.
Yeah,
that. They
just bring everybody up.
You just bring each other on. I didn't think I was going to like that. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, you want to talk about a place that just turned around?
Oh my!
I don't
God.
know if you ever. I was living out here in the late '90s, and when you went down to the Comedy Store, I mean, also no one knew who I was. I was struggling to get spots, but that place, first of all, there was nobody there.
No, spooky.
Yeah, and it was
the
like,
vibe.
Oh, dude, the vibe was like, it was like a fucking haunted house. Like you went in there, and there was all of these guys. These guys that were on TV, and they were big names, and they would come in and just burn the light. They would just stand there.
Yeah.
Having not done the work.
No.
Didn't write anything new, and were just standing there, leaning against the mic saying, yeah, so what else is going on? But blah, 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 blah. And you're sitting back there, your spot's pushed back 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm going home. Yeah. I can't go home. If I go home, they don't know me. So you just would have to fucking stay there.
Brutal.
And all these young kids were learning, someday when I get on his show, I'm going to do that.
Right.
And I remember being here in 98, it was right as Seinfeld was wrapping up.
Uh-huh.
And Jerry, the first time ever, all these years I'd been out there, he popped in at the Improv, and I was like, holy shit.
Right.
It's the king, right? And he went on stage, was supposed to do 15 minutes. He did 15 minutes.
Right.
He started with the killer joke. He ended with a great joke, an even better joke. And in the middle, he tried out his new stuff.
Right.
And I just clicked. I was like, that's the way you do it. That's a fucking pro.
Right.
And that other shit
is just ego and...
Oh, that's all it is. I got a show.
Drinking and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, that place was spooky. I remember going there to the store back then, and it was like, this is not going to help me. Like, this is going to make me depressed.
Oh, it was fucking hostile.
Really was.
It was hostile. And I remember there was a couple rays of light over there. Rogan. I remember meeting Rogan for the first time at the Laugh Factory. And I rode over. He had this fucking badass, cool car.
Great car. That's really what I remember about those days, was just watching Joe come in a really cool car and like, wow, that guy's really got it going on.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, some sick-ass tail fin. It was some sort of Japanese sports car.
Yeah.
I can't remember. So some turbo powered something. And we went over there.
I was like, who's this guy?
And he basically gave me like a pep talk.
Oh, yeah?
On the mindset you had. But it wasn't specifically pointed at the Comedy Store. It was just the L.A. comedy scene.
Right.
Like how you had to be. Don't fucking listen to anybody. Get in there. Do your job. And just like, it was like a real, like, it was like a 8-point Joe Rogan PowerPoint thing.
That's great.
On the mindset. And that like, and he was young Joe. So he was like, it was like, is this guy going to like help me or fucking rip my head off? Like he was like the most amped up dude I'd ever fucking been around. And fortunately he turned out to be like just a sweetheart of a guy.
Yeah. And really the kind of the heart of what turned that place around. Like
him calling out fucking Mencia and all that. Like, dude, it was fucking ridiculous.
It was like coming in there with a big can of Raid and just spraying it all across the whole Comedy Store.
It was unbelievable because like the terror that you had.
Yeah.
You'd leave. Hey, he pulled in the thing and you're like, fuck, I'm going on next.
Right.
And all the work you wanted to do, you could not do. You could not fucking do.
No.
I mean, I don't want to start that shit up again, but like.
It's amazing now. I mean, when you walk in there now, it just the original room, just to go and have a place to really work. Like you really are going to get work done.
Yeah, and what's funny is look at Rogan. Look how big Rogan is, and what does he do? He does it like Seinfeld. Yeah. Do 15, he goes up, he does 15, he tries out the shit he wants to try out, he kills.
Yeah.
You know? So
work on your stuff and go.
But it's amazing, though, that usually once a place or a scene goes bad like that, it's very rare
that it comes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a movie. In a movie that happens.
I know, but
good triumphs over evil.
Yeah. But similar to what you were saying about the cellar being like that special room and something just happens there. Places have something to them.
Yeah.
The Laugh Factory is always going to be the Laugh Factory. The cellar's always going to be the cellar. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, it was unreal back in the day.
You may dip and have bad times, but that room is begging to be good again.
Yeah. You know the one that I remember way back in the day, in the 90s when we were coming up. If you were on the 9 o'clock show Saturday night at the comic strip.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was it was like
you'd come off and think you were the greatest comedian of all time.
Yeah, I'm ready to do Letterman.
Yeah, that room, the energy of that square room, that centered stage.
Yeah,
it was unreal.
Yeah,
unreal.
That one
and that room, and that's a club that's gone in the toilet, and it's just waiting to come back. You put the right person booking it and start attracting the good guys back again, because that room, the architecture, the energy when human beings are in it. It's waiting to be great.
If I was still in New York, I would still go there, even if it's going through a bad period. It's just to keep it going.
Yeah.
Then you got to use whatever juice you have to keep. Because how does that help comics if there's one less room? Forget about a room like that. Which that room was fucking crazy.
Crazy.
Do
you remember when what were their names? The team, Red Johnny and the Round Guy.
Oh God!
When they would go up at the comic strip, I mean.
I had to follow him at the fucking Boston Comedy Club.
Nothing was bigger. That they would just rip the roof off that place. I mean, to a degree.
When they used to be down in the fucking Boston Comedy Club, and they would do the fucking the It Takes Two. It takes two to make a thing go right. Yeah. And one of them was going, woo! And then remember Matt Frost, who's now at CIA, he would be flicking the lights fucking on and off like it was a nightclub. And the place would be going nuts. There was some joke. It was some joke that they did about going to a dance club and feeling like an asshole. And they just, like, when they went into that bit, it was like you were at it was like you started watching a movie.
Yeah.
And I remember just standing there going like, I have nothing.
Nothing in my arsenal.
In my whole career.
Never.
You could take all of it and slam it together. I have nothing that could follow that. And oh my God. And going up in that fucking room after those guys and bombing was the loneliest fucking thing. Like, I mean, if I ever saw comics start crying in that, I wouldn't even judge them.
No.
Because that was back too in the club where all the comics sat in the back, but you had to walk to the front of the stage and go up in the middle before they had that side thing.
Yes.
And they would just be back there. And I remember this new kid came down from Boston. Nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah.
I remember running into Todd Barry going like, going like, how do I get in? Like asking that fucking question where there is no answer. How do I get in at the clubs? He's like, I don't know, man.
Just keep doing it.
You know, you gotta hang out and just thinking. I know what he was thinking. Like, hey, dude, I'm still trying to get in. You know,
yeah. And you'd sit back there and you'd watch like Attell and Kevin Brennan, all these guys that were like already made men, like and everybody had an edge. There was no like joy of like, come on along, I'll show you the way. No. It was just mean, tough guys who got a spot and you weren't taking it from them, and screw you.
Dude, do you remember
stay till 2:00 in the morning and I dare you to complain.
Yeah.
I dare you to
And there was
complain.
a bunch of comics that used to hide uptown because they didn't want to go downtown and get their, they went down there once. It takes two to make a thing go right. They fuck that shit. I am not going below fucking 23rd Street. And it
was scary up there. It was scary down there. It was like Armageddon. But
I used to walk by the Boston during the day when it had that shit red awning that turned pink.
Yeah.
It looked like an old peep show fucking front. I used to get sick to my stomach when I would look at it, and that was the thing.
You dread
where I was just like, I have to get over this fucking feeling, or I am not going to make it in this fucking city.
I know,
because that is fucking. I'm just walking by the building, and it's like that bully I have to fight.
Yes, completely. I remember saying to Kevin Brennan, we were up at the Stand Up New York, and he's like, was talking just about this. And I said, yeah, but we got to keep going because it's making us stronger, right? We got to go because it's making us stronger. And Kevin goes, it's comedy. I mean, how fucking strong do we have to be?
Yeah. I remember this comic too bitching saying that there should be no heckling. There should be no heckling. He's like, you go to a Broadway show, there's no heckling. And I want to be like, well, fucking go fucking get a job on Broadway then, dude.
Right.
Because I don't think that there should be any heckling. That's like, I think that's what makes stand-up so fucking cool is that it's actually, that's part of it, that somebody is going to do that.
Yeah, that there's the energy, that something's got this is going to be different tonight than it was last night. And I also maybe think, because of me, maybe because of the audience, maybe because of the moon, who knows?
And the fact that people heckle is also what keeps a lot of people from it weeds out a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
On both sides.
Yeah. I don't want to keep you here too long. I know you're on to a bunch of other podcasts here to promote your show.
I can stay here all day.
Well, also, we want to have enough time for a Frick cigar, maybe. Who knows? Ooh. Start one, finish it at home.
Yeah.
You could do that. All right, let's do that. Tom Papa, the show's called Baked. It comes on September
3rd, Labor Day night, Monday. 2 episodes. Starts 10 o'clock East.
10 o'clock.
On September 3rd. And it's going to run every Monday through September. The first one actually is New York. And our buddy Jim Gaffigan stops by a donut shop while I'm there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. I've already pitched myself for the second season.
I can't wait.
All right, dude. So happy for your success, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. See you.
You're the best.
All right. Okay. Now it's time for the reads here. I apologize to all the people that wrote in about the farmers down there in South Africa. I'm going to read up on that, and I will read the rest of that guy's email on Thursday. Okay? That's my promise. Now, if you know me, I'm scatterbrained, so I might forget. Okay? But I don't take innocent people dying anywhere lightly. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the other bullshit. All right, with that, let's do some reads here. Oh, Mint Mobile. Oh, what do you get, gum when you fucking fill up your gas tank? Mint Mobile, the big wireless provider, stands for a lot of things. Big contracts, big bills, big fees, big pain in the fucking ass there. What Big Wireless doesn't want you to know is that there's a way to cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month. No way, man. How is that possible? Introducing Mint Mobile, the game-changing company that takes everything. That's taken everything. Wrong with Big Wireless and made it right. They're crusaders. Mint Mobile makes it so easy to cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. Okay? These guys aren't like separate but equal. They're not going down the south here in the 1960s and 50s. They're user-friendly here. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. You can keep your old number along with all your existing contacts. Choose between 2, 5, or 10 gigabyte 4G LTE plans. Every plan comes with unlimited talk and text. Jesus Christ, I'm going to get this. Unlimited talk and text. And if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. Well, when does a fucking bill come? Comes once a month. How does that work? Thanks to Mint Mobile, wireless never has to be expensive again. And to prove that, Mint Mobile is going to hook up 10 of my listeners with free wireless for a year. Holy shit, seriously, free wireless for a year. Enter to win 1 year of Mint Mobile service with 5 gigabytes of data per month. 10 potential winners will be drawn from eligible entries received between August 27th and September 10th. Hey, and you write me if you win it, because I want to make sure that they give us all 10. Winners will be announced September 15th, 2018. Visit mintmobile.com/Burr, B-U-R-R, for your chance to win and for the complete official rules. Mintmobile.com/Burr. No purchases necessary and open to legal residents of the 50 U.S. states and the District of Columbia. You must be 18 years or older at time of entry. All right. Now, Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, EFTFSs, whatever the fuck those are, options, and cryptos. Cryptolios, all commission free. What are cryptos? What are you investing in fucking robots in the future, you creep? They strive to make financial services work for everyone, not just the wealthy pigs. Non-intimidating way for stock market and newcomers to invest for the first time with true confidence. Now, the stock market is just like gambling in Vegas. Only play with money you can afford to lose, all right? Simple and intuitive, clear design with data presented in an easy-to-digest way. Values of the Robinhood app are as follows. Cost/no commission fees. Other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood doesn't charge commission fees. Trade stocks and keep all of your profits. Sorry, I could read that a little more clearly. Other brokers charge up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood doesn't charge commission fees, trade stocks, and keep all of your profits, everybody. It's easy to use, easy to understand, and charts and market data place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. Robinhood web platform also lets you view stock collections, 100 most popular sectors like entertainment, social media, and curated categories like female CEOs. For a little reverse sexism there. But, female CEOs probably need help, right? Help out the ladies and invest in their companies, provided it's a good company. At the end of the day, you can be part of a cause, but it's your money there. And analyst ratings of buy/hold/sell for every stock. Learn how to invest and build your portfolio. Robinhood is giving listeners a free stock like Apple. Robinhood is giving listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio. That's hilarious. They're undercutting Sprint and letting you invest in them. So they're good guys. Sign up at Bill Burr, Robinhood.com. That's BillBurr.Robinhood.com. Oh, I read it wrong the first time. BillBurr.Robinhood.com. All right. Oh, look who's back. Indochino. Talk about how every man looks better in a suit. I don't know how to do this anymore. You know what? Every man looks good in a suit, no matter how long their tie is dangling between their junk. At the end of the day, they look better than if they're walking around. Here's the thing. You want to meet a woman, okay, you got to take respect in the way you dress. All right? And I know you want to be that guy dressed down Friday all the friggin' time, but I'm telling you, you put on a little haberdashery there. All right? You take respect. You're showing a little respect for yourself. And the ladies will notice. I wonder if they make like those power suits that Hillary Clinton wore for the ladies. I have no idea. Additional copy points for Indochino it's the world's largest made-to-measure men's wear company, and has been featured in major publications including GQ, Forbes, and something called Fast Company. They make suits and shirts made to your exact measurements for a great fit. Guys will love the wide selection of high-quality fabrics and the option to personalize all the details, including your lapel, lining, and monogram. Okay? This is like Conor McGregor shit for someone like myself who doesn't know how to fight. How great does Conor McGregor look at every weigh-in or whatever? Whenever he's sitting there talking shit about everybody, killing it, better than most comics I know. The man always looks well. Why? He always looks great because he has designer suits. So you could do it too. Here's how it works. Visit a showroom or shop online at Indochino.com. Pick your fabric. Choose your customization. Submit your measurements. Wait for your custom suit to arrive in just a few weeks. And then you got a custom suit. So even if you show up where everybody else has a suit on, they just bought it off the rack. They don't got their initials there. They don't got that snazzy lining that you're going to have, right? Visit a showroom or shop online at Indochino.com. This week, my listeners can get any premium Indochino suit for just $379 at Indochino.com. That's probably how much fucking Conor McGregor's pocket square costs. But you're working your way up. When entering Burr at checkout, that's 50% off the regular price for a made-to-measure premium suit. Plus, shipping is free. That's Indochino.com. Promo code Burr for any premium suit, $379. It's an incredible deal for a suit that will fit you better than anything off the rack ever will. All right. Oh, but MeUndies, they're killing all the fucking farmers. MeUndies. And then they go get some shawarma. They're taking the land back that was stolen from fucking innocent people. Where does it end? At least your balls will be nice and soft when they come in with the fucking machetes. MeUndies, sorry. You've definitely heard me talk about MeUndies. I just rhymed farmers with shawarma. That's not bad, huh? I showed a little fucking M&M there. You know, he bends the fucking word. All right, Bill, it didn't rhyme. Whatever. I thought it was pretty good on the fly. You know, the fun, comfy undies that feel as good as they look. To those of you who haven't tried them yet, listen up. You get incredible underwear sent to your door with MeUndies, meaning no more hunting around for the perfect pair at a crowded store and eventually settling for good enough. Just picture you walking around in your skibbies, dropping trout. Is it trout? I always thought it was dropping trout for the longest time, but it's trout, like you're taking down your trousers, which always reminds me of that Louis C.K. joke when he was talking about calling up a phone sex line, and you'd always get that old woman talking dirty to him. I'm going to take off your trousers. Some jokes just stick with me. Meaning no more hunting around for the blah, 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 blah. MeUndies are made with a sustainably sourced material from beechwood trees. This is how confident these guys are. They're putting trees in their underwear, and somehow it's still more comfortable than cotton. This naturally soft fiber makes a fabric that won't sag down or rip. Trust me, I got a pair of these. All of this is true. Once you put on a pair, you're going to get it. And if you're already part of the MeUndies fam, not family, fam, they're trying to meet you. They're trying to reach the millennials on that line. When you're part of the MeUndies fam, tell your friends about it. Through their referral program. They'll get a discount and you'll get a store credit. It's a win-win. Still not sure? What else do I got to tell you? Well, MeUndies has a deal for my listeners. First-time purchasers get 15% off their first pair of MeUndies, and shipping is free. That's 15% off, free shipping, and a guarantee that you and your MeUndies will be very happy together. Get your ass over to MeUndies.com and treat yourself. To get 15% off your first pair and free shipping, 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/Burr. That's MeUndies.com/Burr. All right, two more. Hang in there. Oh, it's old Zip. Recruiter! Hiring used to be hard. I don't know who to pick, man. Multiple job sites, stacks of resumes, a confusing review process. Jesus Christ, where does it end? But today, hiring can be easy, and you only have to go to one place to get it done. ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. When you go to they send you your ZipRecruiter sends your jobs to over 100 of the web's leading job boards. They don't stop there. Most people would stop there, but not ZipRecruiter. With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of job resumes to find people with the right experience and invite them to apply for your position. As applications come in, ZipRecruiter analyzes each one and spotlights the top candidates, so you don't have to fuck around with people who aren't qualified, so you never miss a great match. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. Time is money. ZipRecruiter understands this. With results like that, it's no wonder why ZipRecruiter is the highest rated hiring site in America. And right now, my listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free at the exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. Spell out Burr, okay? B-U-R-R. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter, man. ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, the headliner of all my advertising, for the most part, Stamps.com. They've been with me since the beginning. The U.S. Postal Service is an important tool for any business. Stamps.com is the easiest way to access all the amazing services of the post office. Stamps.com never closes. Print postage for letters or packages at your convenience 24/7, right? Your wife went to bed. Your kids are in bed. You're going to get a jump on your day. You pour yourself a scotch and you print out some goddamn postage. Print postage for any mail class right from your own computer. The exact amount of postage every time. Never underpay or overpay again. Stamps.com saves you time and money, which you can use to grow your business. Buy and print official U.S. postage. This is getting redundant. For any letter, any package, any class of mail using your own computer and printer, they'll send you a digital scale that automatically calculates the exact postage. The post office and all their wonderful shit that they do down there is now in your house. Stamps.com will even help you decide the best class of mail for your needs. You can do it in the nude. No need to lease an expensive postage meter, and there are no long-term commitments. I use Stamps.com to send out all my posters, which I really need to advertise better. I have autographed posters, these amazing posters that people have told me I could sell for $40 at a show. But you know what? I'm a man of the people. All right, I only sell them for $20. They're autographed. They're at every one of my goddamn shows, and people keep walking out, and then they text me after, hey, man, I wanted to see the poster. Where is it? It's out there in the lobby. I don't know where. All right, I'm sidetracked, but I use Stamps.com to send these fuckers out. All right, Stamps.com. I use Stamps.com. I just told you why. And right now, you too can enjoy Stamps.com. The Stamps.com service with a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale. Go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Burr. That's Stamps.com, enter Burr. All right? By the way, as I mentioned before, my great buddy, Dean Del Rey, he's doing his first talk show as a stand-up comedian tonight, Monday night on Conan O'Brien with the great and brilliant Mark Maron is one of the guests. Please tune in and check it out. And after that, it says I got a ton of emails about from South Africa. So I have to read these. I can at least read the rest of this guy. His thing here. I forget where I left off. Let's just pick this up, which brings me to my second point. Now, I don't follow all the news on Trump, frankly. I don't care anymore because it's exhausting. I agree too. Everybody's screaming and yelling, flipping the fuck out, and nobody has a solution. But the message I get from the media is still the same. They hate him and will blow up any small thing just to take him down. And basically, you know something? That is a problem in this country. Ever since Bill Clinton, no one has been allowed to be president without being constantly under attack. And I really think it hurts the position, Democrat, Republican, or libertarian, whatever. You got to let the person try to do the fucking job, you know? Anyways, they hate him and will blow up anything he does. Okay, basically they're saying Trump has chosen debate team A, therefore we will choose opposing team B. That is true. With CNN and Fox, they both do it. Everybody is making a big deal over every bombshell, in quotes, in the Mueller probe of he must have known, and this lawyer knew about that shit and pleaded guilty. Really? Do you want to tell me Hillary Clinton or any other politician would have the same kind of, I think you wanted to say wouldn't have the same kind of dirt. Yeah, Hillary would have been getting attacked the entire fucking time. They all play dirty. I would never have expected it otherwise. So my point is, yeah, but they don't all play dirty. Bernie Sanders did not play dirty, which is why I don't think it's a waste of a vote to, even though the guy's not going to win, to vote for somebody like that, because you're trying to encourage more people by seeing the amount of votes that you can get by being a good fucking person. I hate when people say you wasted your vote. Anyways, so my point is Trump actually noticed a problem in South Africa that requires attention, but we probably won't get the attention we need because the dumbass media is too busy writing South Africa hit back at Trump articles. That's true. They try to take down everything that he's doing. But the thing about it is he only seems to notice problems that hit white people. Okay? That's the fucking problem. Okay? And as much as our media definitely would have attacked any Republican that went in there, the left-wing media would definitely do that. I mean, I think when you look at neo-Nazis and go, yeah, well, I mean, people were being aggressive on both sides, you kind of lose a lot of credibility, is all I'm saying. All right, but I understand also what you're saying, okay? Continuing. Wow, you read it all the way up to here. Thanks. Go be an inspiration to all the other hairless gingers out there. All right, so there's another one from South Africa. Bill Clinton's balanced budget myth. All right. So it wasn't balanced. Now I have to wonder, like, where did this come from? Now, is this people on the right? You don't know where any of this is from. So now I'm just supposed to read this and I'm supposed to look at you and assume that you're this guy down the middle that votes on both sides. I will read this. You guys are making me more informed, I think, or maybe you're swaying me. Like that guy who wrote in from Russia. But I don't know if that's the guy from Russia who's hacked into the Twitter shit. I don't know where any of this shit's coming from. Shark theft. Hey, Bill, just wanted to share this ridiculous story about this guy that stole a fucking shark from an aquarium in Texas. He dressed the shark as a baby and put it on a pushchair and just walked out. His justification was he was concerned for the shark's welfare. Well, he probably wanted to put it back in the ocean, but once he takes it out of the water, I think the shark was like, hey, man, I don't think that aquarium was so bad. Granted, it's not as big as the ocean, and I'm no longer to live freely as a living thing on this planet. But, if the shark went to rescue you and dressed you as a baby and put you in a fucking carriage and then took you underwater, I think you'd be like, whoa, actually, it wasn't that bad. There is still some due process in this country. The fact that the article says a man accused of stealing shark. I mean, I think the fact that he had it, Oh, I thought that was part of the gift bag after you went to the aquarium, that you could take one of the fish home. All right. Robin Leach. Billy Benz. You're old enough to remember Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Oh, yeah, that was great. That's one of the first, it was sort of MTV Cribs, before MTV Cribs. This guy, Robin Leach, and they glorified it, and it was just all like, and when they're sitting at the pool, they just don't sit at the pool, they eat escargot. I loved watching it. Do an impression for the kids who don't know what he sounded like. I can't do an impression of him. I haven't seen it long enough, and I'm not good at impressions, unless the person's in my life. I can imitate. I'm working on a Dean Del Rey that I'm going to get. He always comes back from a concert. Hey, Dean, how was it? Oh, dude, it was killer. He always goes down. Or if he's talking about someone that's an asshole. Oh, that guy's a garbage can. All right. The first show to really give you a look at how filthy rich some people are was the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. I remember seeing an onyx black bathtub and just thinking that all rich people had black sinks and black bathroom fixtures. All right. For those of you who didn't grow up in the 80s, if somebody had an all black bathroom, they were into cocaine on an entirely different level. They were going Kleinfeld. You remember Kleinfeld? The most underrated Sean Penn character of all fucking time. In Carlito's Way. You got to check that out. Where he was I love when Pacino said that line. Lawyer.